Oh, hello there. Don't mind me, I'm just putting up some missing posters. Somebody I know has gone missing. Um, can you see if you've seen them? I'm really worried about them. There are many scary things this time of year. Ghosts, spiders, that one eel from Mario 64. But you know what scares me? When a piece of art people spent so much time on just disappears. Lost media is the phenomenon in which a video, book, image, song, video game, etc. does exist at one point, but for whatever reason, can't be found. Maybe someone tried to scrub it from the internet, someone forgot to archive it, or just nobody ever noticed it in the first place. Imagine how much stuff has been lost to history. I'm here to bring attention to all these missing souls. Okay, here's an example of what I'm talking about. Super Mario Bros. 35 was an online battle royale version of Super Mario Bros. You would compete with 34 other players to see who could last the longest while sending enemies to each other's screen. It was very similar to Tetris 99. This was made for the 35th anniversary of Super Mario along with Super Mario 3D All-Stars. But just like that game, when April 2021 hit, the game was removed from the Switch eShop. But at least 3D All-Stars had physical copies and could still be played if you already downloaded it. But since Mario 35 relied on online to play, you could no longer play this game even if you already had it downloaded. Nintendo's reason for taking it down was just Mario's 35th anniversary ended that day. What? What does that even mean? Why spend so much time on a game if you're just going to delete it months later? This wasn't even an attempt to cause FOMO because you can't play it anymore even if you do have it. It was free to play. Nintendo was making no money off this. I played this game and liked it a fair bit, but now I can never play it again. I don't even know if you could emulate this with how it uses online. Our only hope is that Nintendo themselves would bring it back, but that will probably never happen. This game will just be missing forever now. Online stores are often a spot where media becomes lost. Whenever a console shop goes offline, hundreds of games disappear. The most infamous delisting being PT on the PS4. PT, which stands for Playable Teaser, was a demo for a secret horror game. This demo was highly regarded, many people claiming it was the best horror game ever, and this was just the demo. The end of the demo revealed this was part of an upcoming Silent Hill sequel made by Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro. With the quality of the demo and the reputation of the two directors, fans were over the moon with excitement. Unfortunately, due to arguments between Hideo Kojima and Konami, the Silent Hill sequel was scrapped, and since the game was no longer coming out, Konami removed PT from the PS4 store. Konami got a lot of hate for this, and rightfully so! People were selling their PS4s with PT still download on it for thousands of dollars. Luckily, PT can be emulated now and is thus no longer entirely lost media, but still, it was pretty close. With how easily games can be delisted, I heavily recommend investing in physical media. Now, a lot of people confuse lost media with scrapped or canceled media. Lost media is media that does exist, just can't be found, while canceled media is media that was going to exist but didn't for whatever reason. While they are two different things, there is a lot of overlap. Canceled media often does have lost media within it, such as trailers, demos, concept art, documents, etc. Mother 3 was originally going to be a very different game, originally intending to release on the N64. While fans have been able to find many of the trailers and images, there's still is a lot missing. The most desired being a lost playable demo that was at Space World in 1999. Knowing how dedicated Earthbound fans are, I'm sure they will hack into the US government to find it. Probably the weirdest canceled game ever is Nintendo's Stage debut. This was a GameCube game where you would take a picture of your face with a scrapped camera for the Game Boy Advance, and you would put that picture of your face onto a character in the game. The game had other realistic face characters, but also characters from Mario, Animal Crossing, and Pikmin. A lot of the things used in this game would later be reused in the Tomodachi Life series. Any screenshot that is resurfaced of this game is absolutely insane. This looks like VR chat. I don't know if there was a playable demo at the event, and even if there is, emulating it must be a nightmare, so we might just spend our efforts looking for videos and images relating to the game. The game Donkey Kong Plus was a scrap sequel for Donkey Kong 94. The game would let you build your own levels on the GameCube and then play said levels on the Game Boy Advance. Advance. The game's DNA was later reused to make Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and later Mario vs. Donkey Kong titles had a level creator. The demo was also inspiration for Mario Maker. The game had a full-on playable demo at E3 2002 that has yet to be resurfaced, but the GameCube and Game Boy Advance connection might make it tricky to emulate.
You know, when you asked to put up missing posters, I thought they would be like for your dog or something.
Hey, the lost PlayStation Network game Rover needs to come home just as much as any old dog. Poor game doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
I'm just starting to question your sanity.
Oh shoot, somebody's calling. Hello, this is Jack's Game Room. Did you find any lost media? Hello? 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 This is Jack's Game Room. Are you calling about lost media you found? Hello? Wrong number. We're lucky games started getting trailers and demos at E3 because that gave us a lot more information about games that got scrapped. Back in the 3rd and 4th generation, most people got news of new games in magazines. The official Nintendo Player's Guide has a list of upcoming games, and there was a game titled The Return of Donkey Kong. The blurb is very vague, just saying Donkey Kong is coming back. Scott the Woz theorizes that this was a temporary title for Donkey Kong Classics. Donkey Kong Classics, for those who do not know, is a bundle of Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr., which could be the return that they were talking about. Some people think the quote, "This is your chance to get hold of that barrel-throwing, mischief-making rascal Donkey Kong and take control," means that you would play as Donkey Kong. There was also a scrap Donkey Kong educational game for the Famicom. Maybe it was related to that? Literally any information on this project would be noteworthy because all we really know is the title. Another strange magazine game ad was the case of Yeah Yeah Bibis. Yes, that's actually what it's called. The game was first advertised in an issue of Play It Again magazine and a list of upcoming games. The title was seen more times in the following issues, and even in an advertisement by Funko. Nothing ever came up of this game. Now, there is a good chance that this game never existed. Most people theorize that this was either a fake game to see if any other advertisers were simply stealing their lists of games, or just as an inside joke in the magazine publishers that just nobody gets. The YouTuber Jonathan Riggs, great channel by the way, made an unofficial sequel and never got sued, leading to the evidence that this game was fake. But hey, you never know. Finishing our weird magazine ads, we have Zelda Gaiden. This one has quite a backstory. So the Nintendo 64 had this accessory called the 64DD. This was an accessory that would give the system way more RAM and internet access and use these magnetic disc things. Nintendo bet hard on the DD, but it only came out very late into the system's life, only in Japan, and was barely supported. Many games that were planned to use the DD were either stripped of all of their content to fit on an ordinary cart, or were just later made for the GameCube. Ocarina of Time was a victim of the former. A lot of stuff was removed from Ocarina of Time, so Nintendo had the idea to use the DD to make discs that would re-add the content to Ocarina of Time. Screenshots of the game were in an issue of Nintendo 64 magazine, and looking at the pictures, they probably look familiar. The director, Eiji Aonuma, felt the Zelda Gaiden was too similar to Ocarina of Time, and was challenged by Shigeru Miyamoto to take whatever progress he had and make a brand new Zelda game within a year. This became The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. You could probably tell that by how similar the screenshots look. That being said, a lot of stuff from the original Zelda Gaiden version is missing. Things like an adult Link mask and a faceless moon. The game has quite a short development time, so whatever other lost media about the game has to be quite seldom, but still very valuable.
Okay, kid. Look, there's been a serious case of break-ins this month, so we don't have time to find your missing Donkey Kong or whatever.
Come on, please. Can you guys just make a few more posters? I'm running out of printer ink.
For the last time, stop wasting our time and get lost.
Lost media doesn't just happen back then, it can happen right now. A very recent case of something becoming lost media is the game Concord. Now, by the time this comes out, you've probably already heard about this, but I want an excuse to talk about it. So Concord was an online multiplayer hero shooter for the PlayStation 5 and Steam. This game cost hundreds of $millions to produce and took around 8 whole years to develop. When it released, it bombed. But bombed really bad. Really bad. Concord might be the biggest flop in video games ever. Way worse than the infamous E.T. for Atari. Why did it fail? pretty much everything. The game's genre became very oversaturated in the years leading up to its release. The game cost $40 when many other games in the genre were free. There wasn't really a hook for the game to help it stand out. None of the characters, setting, or aesthetics were that interesting. Not much marketing, and many other reasons. Pretty much everyone knew that this was going to flop, but probably not to the extent it did. There were times when the player count reached 33 players worldwide within the game's first 2 weeks. Speaking of 2 weeks, that's how long the game lasted. Yep. 2 weeks after the release, PlayStation started shutting down servers and handing out refunds. And not just digital refunds, even physical copies, which must be a nightmare to deal with. But it gets weirder. If you had the game downloaded and were connected to the internet, PlayStation would delete it from your PS5 without asking for permission. Most games that go offline, you can still play it if you have it downloaded, but with Concord, unless you're a maniac who has a PS5 but no internet, Sony is taking it from you. This is a scary reminder that digital games aren't as safe for media preservation as we think. If companies want to take their stuff back, they can do it when it comes to digital copies. Everything about this Concord situation is unprecedented. I don't even know where to start when it comes to archiving and preserving Concord, but I don't think that many people care, so I guess not much is lost. PlayStation became the gaming fandom's laughingstock for a while. But then Sony released Astro Bot and people started loving them again. Then Sony revealed the PS5 Pro and became an even bigger laughingstock. This all happened in 1 week, by the way. What is happening to modern PlayStation? A lot of games are just destined to become lost media. The Super Famicom had an accessory called the Satellaview. The Satellaview would connect to a satellite that would allow you to play exclusive games at designated times. The games range from enhanced ports of pre-existing Super Famicom games, remakes and reskins of Famicom games, and just all new stuff. Very few of these games have ever been officially re-released by Nintendo, but luckily many have been saved through unofficial emulation. While a majority have been found, some are still missing. One of which being BS Legend of Zelda. Okay, yeah, funny title. BS Legend of Zelda was a 16-bit remake of The Legend of Zelda from the NES. There are a lot of changes from the original, like male or female characters. The game was also released in parts throughout different weeks. So far, only the third week has resurfaced. There was also an orchestra soundtrack and story narration broadcast, but that is also lost. The Little Big Planet series, while not entirely lost media, is missing a huge part of its games. The series would let users make levels and share them online. Over 10 million levels were uploaded throughout the 3 games. One day, without any warning, all of them were now inaccessible. 10 million levels just gone. Forever. There are a lot of fan efforts to save as much as they possibly can, but surely not everything will be found. So many years of dedication of fans just deleted. I love the Little Big Planet series, and some of my best memories are with the user-made levels. Anyone remember that whale level? The next piece of lost media is not a game but a game marketing stunt. To celebrate the release of Super Smash Bros. For N64, Nintendo held a real-life wrestling event with people in Mario, Donkey Kong, Yoshi, and Pikachu costumes, similarly to that one commercial everyone remembers. The event was called Slamfest 99 or Super Smash Bros. Live. Slamfest 99 took place on April 24th, 1999 at the MGM Grand Adventures Amusement Park in Nevada. The fight lasted 17 minutes and was live-streamed on the internet, but this stream has been lost. All the evidence that remains is some photos and first-hand accounts, but no videos either from the stream or in person. How are there no videos of this in person? I would delete the footage of my first child's birth to make room for a recording of a video of Donkey Kong elbow-dropping Pikachu right in front of my eyes. Speaking of amusement parks, we have a game made for the now defunct amusement park, Poke Park. Poke Park Asari Takai DS was a simple Pokemon fishing game that you could download at the park on your DS. With how the DS download play works, the game would be deleted 12 hours after being downloaded. Now that Poke Park is gone, it's impossible to get this game again.
These ones, completely different. This one's real. I asked if there was any pumpkin regulations.
What? Your package is here.
Real pumpkin.
Huh? Did I order again? Where is it? These dumb tracking notifications never work. Dang it, Mom is good at hiding this Halloween candy. Let's see, what else do we... What the... Oh, a freaking course! Pumpkin spice milk. I swear to gosh, every year they put this flavor in literally everything. I can't walk 4... Who are you? Where am I? What do you want from me?
You are in my basement. You were bringing attention to my victims, so I brought you here.
Victims? I swear, I don't know anybody, please!
I'm not talking about people. I mean the media.
Media? You mean, like, the lost media?
You were bringing attention to my victims. I purge media. I will purify this world the way I see fit. They call me the media murderer.
Who calls you that?
Like true crime podcasts? I got a 13-minute segment on an episode last month.
How many tapes do you have? You're not gonna kill me, are you?
I'm the media murderer, not the people murderer. I won't kill you, but I will kill something. Your YouTube channel.
What? No! No, please, no! I promised Sam Tuckman a Snow Bros video, please, no!
Press delete. Now.
Hey, what victims do you have in that bag over there?
Ooh, let's see. There's a copy of Uncle Walt, Little Ninja DVD. That took forever to get out of those Colts hands. The original Jeff the Killer image, the ancestor version of... You little... I'll make your face lost media.
Whoa!
Oh, good, you're awake. Don't worry, son, you're fine. We found you outside the house of a serial home intruder and thief. We don't know who he is exactly. His files must be missing, but he matches the descriptions exactly. Here's some questions we want you to answer later. Just drop by the station at your earliest convenience. Oh, and before I go, here's this.
What's this, your phone number?
Nope, that's your hospital bill.
Oh no. My bank account is about to be lost media. Now you might be asking, why does all this lost media stuff matter? Why am I making this sound like a big deal? Well, I personally think it is a big deal. Even if all these examples of games were silly and inconsequential, they were objectively art. Even if you don't like it, people spent their precious time on this planet making it. Even the worst pieces of art have so much time, planning, collaboration, and creativity packed into them. These pieces of art are important to somebody, and I don't think letting it disappear is fair. And sure, I've only talked about games, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are plenty of other important pieces of lost media. Educational articles, music with unknown origins, destroyed books, and so much more. People say once something gets on the internet, it will never get off, but that's not always the case. Things can always slip through the cracks. If big corporations don't want you to own something, they have a lot of power to make sure that happens. Art is important, and I don't want some soulless company dictating whether it survives. Obviously, there are much bigger problems in this world we should be focusing on right now, but still, I think it's important to archive your favorite YouTube videos, buy physical copies of your favorite movies, books, and games, and keep your eyes open for any lost media cases. If all of this can go missing, imagine what else could.
Here, And now I know it's just a game. I don't need the rules to play. Maybe it's happy, maybe it's sad, but you can choose the way to play. And now I know it's just a game, and I don't need